Right now at 5, a local filmmaker shines a spotlight on Columbus's hidden artistic talent.
And we've got some fog, we've got some drizzle, cool weather out there on a pretty dreary day. Got to look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, an anonymous $130 million donation pays military salaries during the shutdown. The Trump ally.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Monday, October the 27th. We've got Halloween coming up this Friday, which at least right now it's still looking chilly, but good otherwise for Halloween. So that's some good news.
Yeah, I don't know about anybody else, but it doesn't feel like it should be Halloween yet. Because then I'm like, no. Saturday, it's November.
Yeah, we are right around the corner from November, and our temperatures are going to start to match the season as we remain a bit below normal the next, a couple of weeks or so, if not longer out there. We're going to start, though, with our live look downtown Pittsburgh, and we've got some low clouds. We have some drizzle. We have some patchy fog out there, so just be cautious this morning. It depends on where you are, whether or not it's the heavy drizzle that's causing issues or if it's actual fog. Our camera 7th and range line. Again, you can see just how low the cloud base is here. And MoDOT cameras around the metro area along I-44. Again, a little bit on the hazy side, a little bit on the drizzly side, and certainly on the damp side this morning. Fog tracker, we've got almost zero visibility in Iola, and that stretches back west toward Gates Center at just over a mile of visibility. Same down by Chanute, about a mile and a half. Pittsburgh at 4. So it's patchy fog out there, and some of this again is genuinely just very heavy drizzle. We had some of that in Joplin earlier this morning, and that's been reducing visibilities. And so with that said, between the drizzle and the patchy fog, this could last into the early afternoon, so do be prepared for some reduced visibilities through the day. Future track otherwise showing us cloudy skies, maybe a couple of spotty showers, but really just kind of a drizzly, foggy, whatever kind of October day, a little spooky, if you will, for this time of year. But otherwise, just kind of, yeah, that's how it is out there. All right, low to mid 50s as we get the day started. So again, because of the clouds here lately, our last few nights we've been a bit above normal across the region. We're looking at cloudy skies, again, some fog, some drizzle out there as possible. 53 as kids head out the door for school, 57 for lunch and recess, 60 as they head home. So even if you're not getting the fog or the drizzle, we will be cloudy and temperatures topping out right about 60 degrees today with an east wind at 5 to 10. We're not quite done with the actual rain chances yet, as they'll pick up again tonight. We'll go over those details with you and take a look at that Halloween forecast here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. 2 people are dead after a house fire Saturday night in Pierce City, Missouri. KOAM's Shannon Becker was on the scene and brings us more details.
It's about 8:30, reports of a fire in Pierce City. The 300 block of Myrtle Avenue is where we are here near the Pierce City High School.
Fire departments from 4 counties responded to assist Pierce City Fire. As they arrived on the scene, it was already well advanced. Fire Chief Dan Albers says they attempted an aggressive interior search from multiple entry points, but conditions had already deteriorated too quickly, and winds were more than 20 miles an hour at times, which definitely did not help. The home, heavily covered by trees and overgrowth, is across the street from the Pierce City High School. Once the fire was under control, an interior search revealed 2 residents deceased. The Missouri State Fire Marshal's office was summoned to assist investigation, along with the Pierce City Police and Fire Department.
In Pierce City, I'm Shannon Becker. KOAM News Now, Joplin News First.
Fire investigators say next of kin have been notified, but names of the deceased have not yet been released. Funds are being made available for volunteer fire departments in Missouri. The Department of Public Safety is offering grants up to $15,000. For agencies with an annual operation budget of $50,000 or less, the money will be for firefighting equipment like new tools, radio equipment, and more. However, there is a 5% local cash match. So, for example, if the equipment costs $15,000, $789.47. The local match would have to cover the $789.47. The state share of 95% would be the $15,000. A local artist puts a spotlight on a gallery in Columbus, Kansas. KOAM's Mitch Adams has more.
A local woman produces a documentary about Columbus, Kansas's The Maple Uncommon, an art gallery and guest home. Tuesday Welch grew up in Columbus and practices multiple types of art, picking up filmmaking in the process.
As I've gotten older and I have done a lot with myself in the arts and writing and making films about it with my YouTube channel, I wanted to show other people's artwork.
The documentary focuses on the local artists featured in the gallery, which opens to the public during Columbus Days.
It's like a museum itself now of all of decades worth of artwork that she's collected, and what's really special is all of her artwork is artists within a 50-mile radius. She very much wants to support local artists, which is a passion of mine as well, so I really resonated with that with her.
Welch sees the documentary as an opportunity to highlight the creativity of artists in rural areas.
Your art is never too small. What you have to put out in the world is important, even if you don't feel like it's picture perfect.
Reporting in Columbus, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
The documentary is available for view on YouTube under the name Tuesday Welch. The Trump administration has received a major donation to help pay military service members during the government shutdown. The Defense Department confirmed an anonymous $130 million gift from an ally of President Trump. Money that will cover salaries and benefits for service members. Officials say it was accepted under the department's General Gift Acceptance Authority. The president said the donation came from a friend but declined to identify them. The Pentagon has not said whether it will brief Congress or reveal the donor has any foreign ties. President Trump announced he has paused all trade negotiations with Canada over a TV ad that used President Ronald Reagan's words criticizing tariffs. As CBS's Christian Benavidez reports, Canada is pulling the ad so that the trade talks can resume.
Trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer.
The Canadian ad features parts of a 1987 radio address by President Ronald Reagan criticizing tariffs.
Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
It led Trump to abruptly declare all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. The Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, was behind the multi-million-dollar ad buy.
It's real because it was coming from the best president the country's ever seen, Ronald Reagan. So it's very effective. It's probably one of the best ads I've ever seen.
But after talks between Ford and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, the ad is now being pulled from American airwaves starting Monday, allowing time for it to air during Friday's World Series game.
It's a crooked ad. I heard he's airing it. Canada, that's why I pulled everything. Canada, they did a crooked ad.
The latest trade spat comes after the U.S. hiked tariffs in August to 35% on many Canadian goods. Trump and Carney met at the White House earlier this month.
We stand ready to pick up on that progress and build on that progress when the Americans are ready to have those discussions.
My fellow Americans,
the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation said the ad misrepresents the late president's words. Christian Benavidez, CBS News.
That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Christopher Moynihan goes from presidential pardon to new arrest in months, the text message that landed him back in jail. And George Clooney plays a successful actor in his latest film with Adam Sandler, the life-imitating art dramedy coming to Netflix. And cool and cloudy conditions in the 4 states. Chris has a look at your weekly forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch. New charges against a pardoned January 6th rioter have brought renewed attention to President Donald Trump's decision to wipe out the criminal cases against those accused of attacking the U.S. Capitol in 2021. Gabe Cohen has more on several pardoned rioters who are back in jail.
34-year-old Christopher Moynihan, seen here inside the Senate chamber on January 6th, is back behind bars, accused of threatening to kill Democratic House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries in a text message. Allegedly writing, Jeffries makes a speech in a few days in New York City. I cannot allow this terrorist to live. Even if I'm hated, he must be eliminated. He'll make his first court appearance Thursday. CNN hasn't been able to reach his attorney.
They've been put in a situation all across the nation where these violent felons have been released back into communities, and many of whom have already reoffended. And that's a shame.
Moynihan was sentenced to nearly 2 years in prison for storming the Capitol, where he was seen rifling through senators' desks.
There's got to be something in here.
But he was pardoned in January by President Donald Trump, along with more than 1,500 others convicted of January 6th offenses.
These people have served years of jail and their lives have been ruined.
I think they should have been in jail.
Sergeant Aquilino Ganell was among the U.S. Capitol police officers injured during the January 6 riot.
Does it feel like a slap in the face?
I mean, a slap in the face is something like I could withstand. I think it's more like a betrayal.
At least a handful of other J6ers have also been accused of new crimes in recent months, though not for political violence. Zachary Alam, sentenced to 8 years for the Capitol attack, was rearrested in May for allegedly breaking into a Virginia home.
I just want to let you know that I'm a January 6th defendant.
Matthew Huddle was shot and killed by a sheriff's deputy during a traffic stop in Indiana, just days after receiving his full pardon. Body cam video showed him scrambling for a firearm, saying he planned to shoot himself. Edward Kelly was sentenced to life in prison in July for plotting to assassinate the officers who investigated his role in the riot. Brent Holdridge was arrested for alleged thefts of industrial copper in California. And last month, Robert Packer, known for wearing this Camp Auschwitz hoodie on January 6th, was arrested after a dog attack that injured 4 people.
What goes through your mind seeing these cases?
I mean, I think disappointment is somewhat of an understatement.
Gregory Rosen was the top prosecutor on the January 6th cases. He resigned from the Justice Department this year after the president's pardons.
The big takeaway is that the pardons were executed and given out and doled out in an incredibly indiscriminate and sweeping manner, and without discernment of who committed violence and who did not, who needed supervision and who did not.
Court documents say Moynihan has a long history of drug addiction and petty crime. He's accused of making a terrorist threat against the House Minority Leader. Well, still to come, a new study confirms young children are the germiest group during the cold and flu season. The virus detection rates that might surprise you. Plus, we have cool and cloudy conditions. Chris has a look at your Monday forecast. A new film puts a Hollywood legend on the spotlight. Bon Jovi announces a major return to the stage, and game shows are getting spooky for Halloween. Here's Gwen Baumgarten with your Eye on Entertainment report.
In a case of life imitating art, award-winning actor George Clooney portrays the role of a successful actor in his latest film.
That's like a movie where I'm playing myself.
Clooney stars alongside Adam Sandler in the upcoming dramedy as their characters reflect on their legacy and life choices.
Jay Kelly, so handsome.
Look at you, you're the American dream.
While promoting the film, Clooney took time to reflect back on his own career.
Well, I went through phases where I wasn't very successful. So the one that changed my life and career was ER, and that changed everything for me.
Jay Kelly premieres in select theaters next month and on Netflix December 5th. Fans aren't just living on a prayer, they're living for the return of rock legends Bon Jovi. Presale tickets are available today for the Forever Tour. The tour will mark the first live performance for Jon Bon Jovi since having vocal surgery.
I didn't lose faith, but I had no idea how protracted the recovery would be.
The Forever Tour kicks off next July in New York City. Daytime game shows are fully embracing spooky season with Halloween just days away.
That's Mr. Johnson. He's very grumpy.
But Mr.
He never has candy.
But maybe this will be the year.
Let's Make a Deal will air Halloween specials on both Thursday and Friday with costumes, special guests, and haunted prizes. And all this week, The Price is Right will re-air some of their most popular Halloween episodes from years past. Episodes air on CBS and Paramount Plus. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
From game shows, music, to dramas, it seems like there's a little bit for everybody coming out. Well, now here's to Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Oh yeah, some of those themed game shows are always a lot of fun because they'll really go all out for different seasons out there. We are going all out with some patchy fog, some drizzle out there, bit of a dreary start to the day. Got a full look at your forecast when we come back. Time now, 5:20. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:22 now on this Monday morning. Starting with the fog tracker. Now, bear in mind, some of this fog is actually just being generated by heavy drizzle across the area. But Iola down to 1/10 of a mile visibility. Yates Center just under 2. Chanute just under 3. Dense fog in between these points as well. Parsons down to 2.5. And we've got reduced visibilities just about everywhere in the northeastern 2/3 of our area. And again, some of this is actually some fog that's built in. Other reduced visibility numbers you're seeing here are from some heavy drizzle that is taking place across the area. So you need to be cautious, because here's the thing. Something that doesn't happen often is this patchy fog, and of course that heavy drizzle could last into the afternoon hours, which means we'd be dealing with some reduced visibilities much later than what we're typically accustomed to here in the 4 states. So keep that in mind as well with whatever your plans may be. Outside of that, future track, it's just kind of picking up on some of that drizzle. Now we go overnight tonight toward about this time tomorrow morning. Showers begin increasing across the area, and then eventually through the day Tuesday, our winds will increase as well. And then through our Tuesday, again, just some showers out there. Could get a rumble of thunder or two, but the overall chances of thunderstorm type activity is pretty low. However, heavy rain is also possible with some of these showers as we head into our Tuesday as well, so do keep that in mind across the area. These will last again through the majority of the day Tuesday. They'll still wind down a wee bit for a moment late tomorrow evening into the overnight hours, and then they'll return again on our Wednesday. Now Wednesday, it's a pretty good chance of rain across the region, but at least at this point, it's expected to wind down pretty early, as you can see on future tracks. Still breezy though, making it feel even cooler. But outside of that, we should be done with rain fairly early Wednesday, but we'll get a fair amount of rain in the first half of the day. As for our Monday, again, some fog drizzle out there. Temperatures not moving much, eventually climbing from the low 50s to about the mid 50s by 11 o'clock this morning. We're looking at highs today roughly about 60, so give or take a degree or two on either side of that. Again, some patchy fog, and even beyond that, that drizzle could still reduce visibilities and, of course, lead to very slick roadways across the area, so you want to keep that in mind as well. We'll have east winds 5 to 10 into the overnight hours. Again, the evening, we're dry aside from some of that drizzle, maybe some patchy fog. Mid 50s by 10. The rain chances begin increasing overnight tonight. We'll drop back once again in low to mid 50s with a southeast breeze 5 to 10. However, as we head into our Tuesday, especially late morning, early afternoon, winds will increase and they'll start gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour out of the northwest. And that's the other thing. They're going to shift direction on us. North or northwesterly winds on our Wednesday as well, still gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. 60 tomorrow, back into the 40s. Tuesday night into Wednesday, maybe some upper 30s even on the horizon. So that's why heading into Halloween, right now we're still looking okay. We're still dry, but we're looking to be considerably cooler than what we were expecting. About 60 for the daytime high, back down into the mid 30s overnight. And these cooler temperatures will continue into November, hanging out in the 50s and 60s with our lows into the 30s and 40s. That is a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Now is the time to get your annual flu shot. The Associated Press reports pediatricians are urging people to get vaccinated after last winter saw the most flu-related child deaths in the U.S. in 15 years. October is the best month to get vaccinated as cases tend to ramp up in November. The flu shot is recommended for everyone ages 6 and older, but more than half of kids in the U.S. don't get vaccinated. New information about the healing power of music. A study published in Scientific Reports found that while listening to music can't eliminate pain, it can reduce the perception of pain and increase pain tolerance. Research has shown that though this works with any kind of music, the strongest effect is when people listen to their favorite genre of music. Well, it's been a decade since a landmark study sparked new guidelines recommending peanut products be fed to young babies in order to help prevent the development of life-threatening allergies. Since then, peanut allergies have significantly declined in the U.S., according to a new study. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither looks at the data and how an expert says peanut products can safely be introduced to babies.
For decades, parents were told to keep peanuts and nut products away from young children until age 3. But in 2015, research caused experts to flip-flop. The current guidelines say introducing these foods in infancy can actually help prevent food allergies.
The end goal is to see this tide turn.
A new study published in the journal Pediatrics determined about 60,000 children have avoided food allergies since guidelines changed, including 40,000 children who otherwise would have developed peanut allergies. Still, about 8% of children are affected by food allergies, including more than 2% with a peanut allergy.
There's been a lot of fear.
Dr. Ruchi Gupta says that fear may have stopped some from following the guidelines, but she says parents should start introducing peanut products as soon as their baby is ready to eat solid foods, usually around 4 to 6 months.
Use like peanut butter, smooth peanut butter, and then thin it out with breast milk, formula, applesauce, whatever you desire. And then slowly introduce it to your baby. A little bit on the lip, let them lick it, add a little bit more.
Gupta says when introducing peanut products, parents should watch out for signs of an allergy like rash, hives, and vomiting. She says those are the most common symptoms in babies with a food allergy.
But if they eat it just fine, then I recommend just keeping it in their diet, keeping it in 2 to 3 times a week. And hopefully, that way they go on to enjoying it.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Gupta says the more different foods parents can introduce children at a young age, the better. She says that includes other allergenic foods like yogurt and eggs. Well, that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, roughly 42 million Americans lose SNAP benefits as the government shutdown continues. The USDA memo explaining why.
And we've got some drizzle, we've got some fog, we've got kind of a dreary start to the day with clouds, and we're going to be cool. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a deer shows up ready for class at Ladue Middle School. The principal's quick thinking at protected students.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Monday, October the 27th. Hopefully you've made the final plans for, I almost said Thanksgiving, for Halloween. Honestly, hopefully you've made the final plans for Thanksgiving too.
It's
especially
coming
prices
up.
are the way they're going now is probably a good time to get ready for that. We went out to Spirit Halloween yesterday. Boy, it was busy. That's just one costume location out there. Lots of places very busy. A lot of it's just like Christmas. You wait till the last second to go shopping. You never want to do that. My sister and I did that once, and we went to the mall. It was maybe a week before Christmas, and we parked out by Firestone to get and had to walk all the way to the mall. It was the closest parking spot we could find. So hopefully you are prepared for all of the upcoming holidays, because man, they're going to hit like that. And then it'll calm down again. As for our weather, it's not hitting like that, but it is a bit drizzly. It is a bit dreary out there this morning. We're going to start a live look downtown Pittsburgh, and there it is. Got some fog, got some wet roadways, got some patchy drizzle. And so that's the thing. Some of our reduced visibilities this morning aren't necessarily a direct result of fog per se. It's the result of very heavy drizzle, which we've seen across the area. Our camera 7th and range line in Joplin. Cloud base is low, but it actually is a little bit higher now than it was about 30 minutes ago. MoDOT cameras around the metro area along I-44. Again, the biggest thing too is the wet roadways, but you can see some of the haze, some of that drizzle that's leading to slightly reduced visibilities. Others though, between the fog and the drizzle, Iola down to just 1/10 of a mile of visibility. So that's 54, stretching over to the west into Yates Center, and then we head south, Chanute, Parsons, we've got reduced visibilities. Fredonia, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Carthage, Mount Vernon, and Cassville. So you kind of get the idea. It's patchy out there, but we have the drizzle between that and the fog. You want to make sure you're slowing down, being careful. The other thing is just due to the nature of our weather setup today, between the fog and the drizzle, this could last into the early afternoon, which is, it's not rare, but it is uncommon to have reduced visibilities that long into the day. So do keep that in mind as we get this workday, school day underway. Future track, again, cloudy skies. It's trying to pick up on what it perceives as drizzle out there, and this is it. And so it's going to be one of those things. It could last all day. The drizzle may even stop for you. You may not get much drizzle beyond this morning. It's just going to kind of be hit and miss. Our temperatures are quite mild this morning again. Low mid 50s. You even got some upper 50s. Veneta, the warm spot right now, at 58 degrees. Kids heading out the door again. Fog, drizzle, 53. 57 lunch and recess, much of the same. Some drizzle later this afternoon. About 60 with cloudy skies, and that's where our highs are headed. We're going to go mid 50s by 9, upper 50s by noon, and about 60, give or take a degree or two on either side of that for our highs. East winds 5 to 10. We've got rain chances. We're not done with them yet. They start increasing again tonight, and the winds will increase as well. We'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. The stalemate drags on in Washington, D.C., and it seems with no end in sight. Chris Bryant has a look at what home loans may be delayed as the government shutdown continues.
USDA, FHA, and VA home loans are an option for some buyers when it comes to getting a loan for a new home.
With anything in general, right? The worst thing you can do is panic during this situation. And definitely having that conversation with your local lender, finding out how is my particular loan affected, if at all, by this shutdown.
FHA has a lower down payment of 3.5%. VA loans don't require a down payment. And USDA home loans offers 100% financing.
We are still operating business as usual. Yes, there might be a little bit of delays just simply because some of, verification departments or, certain aspects of each loan program may be running skeleton staff.
Jeff Parker is a broker with Murney Associates Realtors and has only one contract that is needed an extension at this point.
Loans that are really shut down or turned off are USDA loans. Our FHA loans are still processing, possibly with a limited staff. However, I haven't experienced a lot of delays on those. The VA loans are still processing as normal. So we're really dealing with SBA loans, which aren't very common, and USDA loans.
When it comes to loans like USDA, for buyers, changing to a different loan may not be an option.
So they need to stick with that program, and we're doing our best to work with these sellers who, you're correct, may have another mortgage payment coming due when they expected the home to be sold.
While lenders and realtors do their best to navigate buyers and sellers through the shutdown, it doesn't mean you can skip a mortgage payment, whether you're selling a house or if you're going to miss a paycheck.
Having a conversation of, hey, what does it look like if I don't get paid and I may be struggling to make that payment? Having the conversation ahead of time always puts everyone at ease, and it's much easier to play offense than defense when you get to that point.
And if the process is just held up,
you can do some possession agreements. If the home the buyer is purchasing is vacant and they have to vacate their apartment or current home, we can try and accommodate that.
As the government shutdown drags on, USDA says it will not tap into its contingency fund to cover food stamp benefits next month. That's according to a memo obtained by CNN, which also states they will not be reimbursed if they use their own funds to pay for benefits. The memo says the $6 billion funds, quote, are not legally available to cover regular benefits. As a result, roughly 42 million Americans will not receive critical food assistance from SNAP. A principal at a Missouri school jumped into action when a four-legged creature was hanging around the front door. Morgan Harris reports.
It's a typical day in the middle school. Arrival's always fun and exciting and energetic.
Wednesday morning turned out to be the furthest thing from normal at Ladue Middle School. A deer showed up ready for class, joining several kids outside the building. Principal Dr. Angela Thompson, who was inside at the time, sprung into action, protecting students like Isabel Hu.
When I saw my principal, I realized that I need to get into the building quick.
What went through your mind when you saw the deer?
Just take care of the kids. There are too many kids around for something like this.
And that's exactly what Dr. Thompson did. She protected her students, safely directing them away from the deer.
Thank you for stepping in, because you didn't have to. what you did anyways. Thank you so much, like Dr. Thompson. Like that really shows how much like compassion you have for the school and like the students that are in it.
Compassion Assistant Principal Sarah Schwartz isn't surprised by.
It didn't surprise me because we as school staff are always trained to protect our kids. We love our kids and we want to keep them safe.
Any nerves running out, or was it?
Not a bit. No, I think any of my colleagues would have done the same. I just happened to have the right angle out the door. I'm pretty fortunate to be surrounded around people who put kids first and public education, taking care of kids, and parents drop their kids off every day, and I take that work seriously to keep them safe.
And while the deer did not make it inside before the school bell rang, for everyone else, it was business as usual at Ladue Middle. Morgan Harris, First Alert 4.
That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, inflation hits its highest pace in 2025 as consumer prices surge 3%. The goods driving up your grocery bill. Plus, anime dominates the box office again as Chainsaw Man takes the top spot, the $17 million weekend win. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, U.S. and China trade negotiations met to hash out a framework over the weekend, with the leader of the two countries set to meet Thursday. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says President Trump's threatened 100% tariff on Chinese goods is now off the table. Meanwhile, back home, the Trump administration has announced that SNAP food assistance funding will be cut off on November 1st if the federal government shutdown continues. And another big weekend win at the box office for anime, Chainsaw Man. The movie Reyes arc takes the top spot in North America with more than $17 million. Horror sequel Black Phone 2 was second with an estimated $13 million. Romantic drama Regretting You was third, earning more than $12 million. Inflation crept upward in September, further squeezing Americans' wallets. Karen Kafa reports from Washington.
Consumer prices for a range of goods rose at their fastest pace of 2025 during September, according to the Consumer Price Index report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Inflation ticked up at an annual rate of 3%. Pushing the top line number higher, gas prices, which shot up 4.1% last month. Top White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett blaming that on a decrease in refinery capacity he says has been reversed.
We've seen those have already come down, so we're highly confident that the next number will even be below this.
But food prices are 3.1% higher than this time last year, with some staples soaring. Coffee prices up 18.9% year over year. Beef and veal prices up 14.7%. Bananas up 6.9%. Some retailers say they're trying to hold prices down to keep consumers coming back.
We're really trying to hold prices because when prices go up, nobody wins.
Meanwhile, many federal workers missed their first paycheck Friday because of the government shutdown, which is also putting November's SNAP benefits for roughly 42 million Americans at risk.
It will make us, people like myself and other individuals, have to make that hard choice. Are we going to put food on the table or have proper health care?
The government inflation data release was prompted by a government deadline to make cost of living adjustments for 2026 Social Security payments, and retirees will see a 2.8% bump in their benefits next year. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
That's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got that fog, we've got some drizzle, it is wet outside, it is cool outside this morning. Another chilly day ahead of us, and more rain showers on the way overnight tonight into our Tuesday. We're going to break down the details, what you need to know. Take a look at the Halloween forecast as well when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 5:45. We'll be right back.
Trade negotiations with Canada have hit a sour note. An update in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. President Trump says he is ending all trade negotiations with Canada. It comes after a TV ad opposing U.S. tariffs was run. The president posting on his Truth Social site that the ad misstated the facts and called it egregious behavior aimed at influencing U.S. court decisions. Now, later making another post saying, quote, Canada has long cheated on tariffs, charging our farmers as much as 400%. Now, Canada's Prime Minister, Mark Carney, said he stands ready to pick up trade talks with the U.S. U.S. consumer prices increased slightly less than expected in September, and that could keep the Federal Reserve on track to cut interest rates again next week. Information from Labor Department's Bureau of Labor Statistics showed the Consumer Price Index rose 0.3% last month. Grocery store food prices increased about the same. And should you floss your teeth before or after you brush them? A survey of dentists recommends flossing before brushing. That's because flossing first removes food and plaque that toothbrushes can't reach, improving cleaning and fluoride coverage. Brushing afterward lets toothpaste reach every surface, which they say helps strengthen enamel, protect gums, and reduce the chance of cavities or decay. And they add the best time to floss is whenever you'll stick with it. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Now let's take it over to Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we are a bit drizzly, a bit foggy, and so the fog tracker, again, it picks up on visibility reports. Sometimes that visibility is reduced by fog, most of the time it is, but sometimes it's reduced by heavy drizzle, and so it could be either or, but you can see Iola right now down to 0 visibility, Yates Center about 1.5 miles, Chanute just under 3, Parsons just over 2, Pittsburgh just under 2, Joplin, Carthage, Mount Vernon, Cassville also, and Fredonia also reporting reduced visibility. So this morning you just got to be careful and watch out for the potential again for, as you can see, rapidly changing visibilities. And also remember, the fog tracker is a lot like a temperature map, and so it takes point data and then fills in the gaps where there may not be observational stations like reporting the fog, reporting the temperature, and it fills in those gaps. So that's why you've got to be careful. We could have some dense fog outside of those zones as well. That's also what happens sometimes. You see those comical maps where I think over the weekend or last week it was like Columbus, Ohio was negative 213 degrees, and on the temperature map there was this huge bullseye, and then it gradually warmed up because it relies on data around that to determine what the warm-up is like. So sometimes the data it malfunctions, but the fog tracker this morning not malfunctioning. Need to be cautious. Future track picking up as best as it can on what it perceives as drizzle, because drizzle again, we're not showing you a Skywatch Storm Tracker because it is too finite. The radar beam can't see it, and if I pulled up the Skywatch Storm Tracker right now, it would look like there's nothing happening, but there is drizzle falling. Now as we go overnight tonight into tomorrow, our rain chances, real rain, not just this drizzle stuff, will actually begin to increase. We'll have scattered showers throughout the day. Some of these could produce some heavy rain, and we could get a rumble of thunder or two, but right now the environment not really conducive to thunderstorm activity. But heavy rain and gusty winds, very possible, if not likely, through the day on our Tuesday. Now, some of us get a little bit of a break by late evening, but you can see this whole system rotates through, and then we see the return of showers, and again, maybe a rumble of thunder and some heavy rain possible. Now, the expectation here is Wednesday, we have a very good chance of rain across the entire region, but it looks to wrap up very quickly as well. So going overnight into the first half of our Wednesday, and then we'll dry out. So that's why Wednesday, it's like a 60% chance of rain, but that rain won't last all day like it's expected to on our Tuesday. We'll still be breezy on Wednesday. We'll have those winds shifting out of the north on us. So again, a mix of fog and drizzle through the morning, otherwise cloudy. 53 to start, about 56 by 11 o'clock this morning. Into the afternoon we go, about 60. And so bear in mind too, the fog, the drizzle, the reduced visibilities. Well, it's not uncommon for that to last into the afternoon. It doesn't happen a lot. So you've got to be prepared for reduced visibilities that could persist through the majority of the day today as well. Cloudy skies through the evening, mid-50s. Again, our rain chances pick up overnight, low mid-50s. Southeast winds at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow, though, by late morning, early afternoon, those winds shift out of the northwest. They start gusting upwards of 25. That continues into our Wednesday, as to our rain chances. Temperatures dropping, low 40s tomorrow night, upper 30s Wednesday night. Halloween still looking good so far, but much cooler. Right about 60 again for our highs, back into the mid-30s for our lows. So definitely settling into a November pattern out there next week with temperatures in the 50s and 60s, overnight lows 30s and 40s. That's check of your forecast. We are back with more right after this.
Even a rainy day couldn't stop the fun at Joplin's annual pumpkin run. Racers kicked off in the afternoon with the 1 and 2 mile events, followed by 8 and 10 mile runs. Early Learning Center provided decorated pumpkins as top prizes, while all participants received their own pumpkin. Additional awards were handed out for age group winners, age graded winners, and Missouri age and gender records. It's all treats and no tricks this weekend at St. Paul's United Methodist Church in Joplin. The Great Candy Crawl has brought families together for indoor Halloween fun. Kids and adults enjoy trick-or-treating, a photo booth, and a live spooky tunes. Costumes were highly encouraged, candy was guaranteed, and memories are sure to last.
And memories of summer are long gone now as we've settled into fall. We've got cloudy skies, some fog, some drizzle out there, and the drizzle can lead to reduced visibilities. And we're looking at fog and drizzle continuing through most of the day. So again, you do want to watch out for the potential for some reduced visibilities even into the afternoon hours today. Temperatures not moving much, 53 by 8, 56 by 11 a.m. We're looking at highs today, about 60, so give or take a degree or two on either side of that. And again, the cloudy skies, drizzle, maybe some patchy fog, east winds 5 to 10. Through the evening, we're still cloudy, but we're dry, 55 by 10, low mid-50s overnight, rain chances increasing after midnight, southeast winds 5 to 10. Wind shift out of the northwest Tuesday and start gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. That will continue into Wednesday, so a bit of a nip to the air with the winds. 60 tomorrow, low 40s tomorrow night, mid-50s. On Wednesday into the upper 30s, and Halloween again looks good still at this point. We are still dry but much cooler, 60 for the high, mid 30s overnight, so make sure you've got a nice coat ready to go. I know it covers up the costumes, but yeah, that's just the way it is. It's going to be chilly and you don't want to be getting sick out there. Temperatures next week as we roll into the first week of November, pretty seasonable, a little bit below normal in some cases, into the 50s and 60s, lows 30s and 40s. That is a check of your forecast. Got another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.